Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital teasers for the next 3 weeks, April 28th to May 16th, predict that Jason Morgan will learn some distressing Sonny Corinthos news before Nina Reeves tells Carly Spencer. There will undoubtedly be a pre-nurse's ball problem or two, so here's what GH fans should expect in the upcoming episodes. Carly will be terrified by Sonny's near-death experience from April 28th to May 2nd. That nasty nurse will fail to wipe Sonny off the map, but Carly will be spooked by the whole affair. Jason will soon learn what happened in Los Angeles, and he will feel sorry he was unable to help Carly. Jason will undoubtedly swear to do anything he can to protect Sonny in the aftermath, and the most effective way to do so is to eliminate the person responsible for all of the fatal instructions. Of course, determining who is to blame has proven tough thus far, but Jack Brennan will share an idea with Carly. We'll see if Brennan suspects Jen Sidwell or another surprising culprit. Drew will then have a big outburst, which may distract him and cause him to leave his drink unattended. Nina and Portia Robinson discuss giving Drew a Mickey for the next stage of their plot, so he'll get drugged and end up in bed with Jacinda. Jacinda will earn the $6,000 Nina is offering her by fabricating a cheating scene and collecting photos as proof. The real show will begin when Willow Corinthos returns home from Baden-Baden and discovers Drew in the bedroom with a random blonde she does not know. Willow will have to make a difficult decision after Drew claims he didn't willingly get into bed with Jacinda. Drew may try to piece together the evidence from the previous evening and conclude that someone drugged him for this trap. Whether Drew blames Nina or someone else for setting him up, he will implore Willow to believe in what they have created together. Will Willow decide to believe Drew is telling the truth? Regardless, Nina will have a catch-up with Carly, so we'll see how much of her latest escort scheme she's prepared to reveal. Although Nina may foretell Willow's eventual flip against Drew, the situation may not be so straightforward. Will Alexis Davis tell Christina Corinthos Davis why Diane Miller drew out the papers to have her committed? Christina may be surprised to find Diane was preparing a legal defense in case the truth about the vehicle accident Christina caused is revealed. Alexis may disclose that she is paying Ava Jerome large sums of money from the Cassadine estate to keep her quiet. If Alexis reveals the blackmail mayhem between May 5th and 9th, Christina may become enraged with Ava all over again. Christina pledged to quit her vendetta, but now that Ava has put Alexis in this difficult situation, it could be reignited at any time. Lulu Spencer will also continue to look for answers about Brooklyn Quartermain and Dante Falconeri's adopted child, so Lois Cerullo may become concerned when Giovanni Gio Palmieri hints begin to unravel. The week of May 12th to 16th will be filled with pre-nurses ball turmoil, as Lucy Coe is sure to be hustling ahead of the big occasion. There will undoubtedly be some fires to put out and last-minute changes to make. Will Kai Taylor still be able to perform after his surgery? If Kai experiences paralysis following his treatment, he may be forced to cancel his scheduled performance. Whatever the case, General Hospital spoilers indicate that the following 3 weeks will be filled with exciting occurrences. This week, General Hospital veteran Maurice Bernard featured Ignacio Saricchio on his State of Mind podcast, which ABC fans thoroughly enjoyed. You might recall that he played Diego Alcazar. Trigger warning. This article discusses persons who have died. A blast from the past. Maurice launched his podcast and immediately began discussing Clint Eastwood's film Mule. Ignacio won a prominent role in the film, and Maurice couldn't believe how beautifully he performed. Ignacio was initially cast as Diego, despite his lack of acting experience. He moved on to bigger things, but he was grateful that old hands like Maurice helped him learn the ropes. Ignacio Saricchio portrayed Diego Alcazar from 2004 to 2006. Then he quit, but returned in 2008 to briefly reprise his role. His character on General Hospital was killed off in March of that year. He was involved in the plot concerning the text message killer, who terrorized Port Charles. After talking about their separate jobs, the two men discussed mental health. A tragic loss. Maurice Bernard appeared very sad when Ignacio told him that 9 years ago, he lost his little brother to suicide. It was the passing of his little brother that led him on a path of mental health advocacy. Maurice Bernard heard how Ignacio's brother struggled with depression, and his older brother didn't know how to be there for him. In fact, he simply didn't know how to even talk to him. For example, he informed real-life Sonny Corinthos that even basic phrases like should and must to see a therapist are aggressive words. So he learned to help others by empathizing. He went on, "You really learn about putting your ego aside and say, I'm truly here for you for whatever you need, truly without projecting." The path to learning about helping others. Maurice Benard's State of Mind podcast benefits others, but the former Diego Alcazar actor followed a different path. He learned how to interact with people in Sicily and taught them that it is acceptable for men to cry. The suicide saddened Maurice Benard, who stated, I'm about to embark on, I'm not sure, a suicide crusade. Suicides have increased dramatically since the outbreak. As I previously stated and will reiterate, the epidemic was both a burden and a blessing. The blessing is that if you turn on the television and are bipolar, you will notice advertising everywhere. If you're depressed or anxious, it's excellent. That was not present before the pandemic. But the suicide is simply out of hand. Maybe we can do something together. Ignacio has worked extensively on mental health issues, and the plan may come to fruition. The former ABC star informed Maurice that he is associated with Active Minds. It is a nonprofit that promotes youth mental health through university and K-12 chapters by connecting them to counseling. He also formed Mind the Music, an artistic collaborative in which his band plays concerts to bring people together, share stories, and express the message that no one should endure their responsibilities alone. General Hospital's next 3 weeks. Jason's disturbing Sonny news, Nina spills to Carly, nurse's ball crisis. The next 3 weeks on General Hospital promise to be filled with explosive drama, surprising revelations, and emotional upheaval that will keep viewers on the edge of their seats. From Jason's terrible discovery regarding Sonny to Nina's bombshell confession to Carly, and the commotion surrounding the nurse's ball, Port Charles is poised to face some of its most intense moments yet. Jason's disturbing Sonny news. Jason Morgan has always been Sonny Corinthos' most faithful ally, but the next weeks will put their unshakable bond to the ultimate test. A surprising revelation regarding Sonny's recent activities will surface, making Jason doubt all he thought he knew about his best buddy. Rumors claim that Sonny may have crossed a line that even Jason cannot ignore. Whether it's Sonny's business activities, a violation of trust, or a frightening secret from the past, Jason will have to confront the prospect that Sonny is no longer the man he once knew. As Jason deals with this frightening news, tensions between the two will reach a boiling point. Will Jason prioritize loyalty over justice, or will this discovery cause an irreparable rift between them? Meanwhile, Sonny, oblivious of Jason's mounting suspicions, struggles to balance his empire, family, and his delicate relationship with Carly. If Jason decides to move against Sonny, the effects could be felt across Port Charles, affecting both allies and enemies. Nina spills to Carly. Nina Reeves has never shied away from conflict, but her next move could change the game forever. After months of simmering tension, Nina reaches her breaking point and chooses to reveal the truth to Carly Spencer. While the specifics of her confession are unknown, speculation believes it could entail Nina's role in concealing Sonny's Nixon Falls amnesia, or another bombshell she's been holding back. Carly, who never backs down from a fight, will definitely be furious. Their long-running enmity has been one of General Hospital's most bitter rivalries, and this showdown has the potential to escalate it even more. If Nina's confession reveals a profound betrayal or a hidden fact about Carly's family, the consequences might be disastrous. Carly's anger is legendary, and if Nina has finally gone too far, the damage may be irreversible. But Nina has her own allies. With her marriage to Sonny already on precarious ground, this showdown has the potential to either strengthen or break them up completely. Will Sonny support Nina? Or will Carly's influence prove too strong? And with Willow in the mix, possibly caught in the crossfire, the emotional stakes could not be higher. Nurse's Ball crisis. The Nurse's Ball is one of Port Charles's most elegant and well-known events, but this year it may be remembered for all the wrong reasons. Behind the stunning performances and poignant speeches, danger lurks in the shadows. A massive crisis is about to erupt, endangering the lives of several important players. Could an unexpected guest crash the gathering with vengeance in mind? With so many foes circling, Peter August's lingering threats, Victor Cassadine's machinations, and even a new villain on the horizon, no one is truly safe. The ball has previously been a target, and this year may be no different. Furthermore, personal dramas will collide in spectacular style. Relationships will be strained, secrets revealed, and alliances will shift in the blink of an eye. The nurse's ball has traditionally been a hotbed of romance and intrigue, but this year it could also be a conflict. Other explosive storylines. Aside from these core tragedies, several other storylines will keep fans hooked. Drew and Carly's growing connection. As Drew Kane adjusts to life outside of captivity, his friendship with Carly strengthens. But with Jason back in the scene and tensions escalating, will Drew get caught in the middle? Elizabeth's struggle. Elizabeth Weber's mental health journey takes a turn as she tackles new problems. Will she get the help she needs? Or will previous traumas resurface? Spencer and Trina's romance. Spencer Cassidy and Trina Robinson's relationship encounters fresh challenges, particularly with Esme Prince still present. Will their love endure the chaos? Austin's secret agenda. Austin Gatlin Holt's exact motivations are unknown, although his acts suggest he is hiding something significant. When the truth is out, who will be caught in the crossfire? Final thoughts. The next 3 weeks of General Hospital are shaping up to be among the most dramatic in recent memory. Fans will not want to miss a single moment as Jason's commitment to Sonny is called into question. Nina has an explosive encounter with Carly, and the nurse's ball descends into pandemonium. Betrayals, heartbreaks, and life-or-death circumstances will keep viewers hooked to their screens as Port Charles inhabitants face their most difficulties yet. Maurice Benard and Ignacio Cericchio, both well-known characters in the entertainment sector, recently had a profound discussion about a significant mental health problem that affects people all over the world. Their conversation shed light on the growing crisis of mental health issues, the stigma associated with them, and the critical need for more awareness, understanding, and access to treatment. Both performers who have spoken openly about their own difficulties with mental health utilize their platforms to underscore the need of breaking the taboo and creating a more compassionate culture. Their discussion covered a wide range of mental health issues, including the impact of social media, cultural pressures, and a lack of proper mental health resources, particularly in impoverished areas. One of the main topics of their discussion was the worrying increase in mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, and PTSD, particularly among young people. Benard, who has been open about his bipolar disorder, discussed his own experiences managing his condition while navigating the trappings of fame. He emphasized that mental illness does not discriminate. It can strike anyone, regardless of age, gender, or social background. Cericchio, who has previously spoken about his experiences with anxiety, agreed, adding that cultural pressures frequently compound these difficulties. The pressure to be perfect or successful, especially in the age of social media, has produced an environment in which many people suffer in quiet, afraid of being judged or rejected if they publicly discuss their mental health. The discussion also focused on the role of social media in determining mental health trends. While sites such as Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter can be useful tools for connecting and raising awareness, they can also foster feelings of inadequacy, isolation, and even self-harm. Benard and Cericchio explored how created online personas establish unreasonable expectations, causing many people to compare themselves negatively to others. Constant exposure to unpleasant news, cyberbullying, and the addictive nature of these platforms exacerbate mental health issues. Both performers agreed that, while social media is not intrinsically bad, there should be more emphasis on digital literacy and self-care to offset its negative impacts. Another major topic was the stigma associated with mental health, especially in certain cultural groupings. Cericchio, who is of Argentine heritage, discussed how mental health is frequently neglected or misunderstood in Latino households, where discussing emotions is sometimes interpreted as a sign of vulnerability. Benard, who is of Nicaraguan descent, described similar experiences, saying that in many traditional families, mental health issues are either ignored or blamed on personal failure, rather than being recognized as serious medical disorders. This cultural stigma discourages many people from getting help, resulting in protracted suffering, and in some cases tragic ends. Both performers underline the significance of culturally appropriate mental health education, in closing the gap and encouraging more open dialogue in these communities. Access to mental health care was another key topic of discussion. Despite the rising frequency of mental health illnesses, many people, particularly those from low-income families, face considerable barriers to treatment. Individuals face challenges in receiving the care they require due to high expenses, long wait periods, and a shortage of mental health experts. Bernard and Sericchio emphasize the importance of legislative reforms to improve mental health services, such as better insurance coverage, increased funding for mental health programs, and greater integration of mental health treatment into primary health systems. They also complimented grassroots organizations and internet treatment platforms for making mental health services more accessible and cheap. The discussion then switched to the significance of self-care and coping strategies. Both performers discuss practices that have helped them manage their mental health, such as therapy, meditation, exercise, and artistic outlets. Bernard discussed how acting has been beneficial for him, allowing him to express his feelings via his art. Sericchio talked about the benefits of mindfulness practices and the significance of setting boundaries, both online and in human relationships. They advised individuals to experiment with different coping methods and see what works best for them, emphasizing that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to mental health. A particularly poignant moment in their conversation was when they discussed suicide prevention. With suicide rates on the rise worldwide, Bernard and Sericchio emphasized the significance of spotting warning signals and reaching out to individuals who may be struggling. They emphasized the importance of community support in saving lives, encouraging people to check in on their loved ones on a regular basis and to approach mental health talks with kindness and without judgment. Both actors urged for improved suicide prevention training in schools and workplaces, as well as increased public awareness campaigns to decrease the stigma associated with suicidal thoughts. The conversation ended with a call to action to increase mental health advocacy. Bernard and Sericchio urged their fans and followers to learn about mental health, support mental health organizations, and use their platforms to push for change. They stressed that while progress has been made in recent years, much more needs to be done to guarantee that mental health is handled with the same urgency and priority as physical health. They thought that by sharing their personal stories, they could encourage others to speak up, get treatment, and recognize that they are not alone in their challenges. Finally, the debate between Maurice Bernard and Ignacio Sericchio was a striking reminder of society's mutual duty for mental health. Their candor and vulnerability helped to humanize this often misunderstood topic, illustrating that even those who appear to be successful and confident can struggle within. By continuing to have these painful but essential conversations, we can move toward a future in which mental health is prioritized, stigma is eliminated, and everyone has access to the resources they require. The conversation also centered on the role of celebrities and public figures in mental health advocacy. Individuals like Bernard and Sericchio can reach millions of people through their platforms, making their voices important in the fight for mental health awareness. They did, however, admit that change cannot be achieved only through high-profile activists. It must be implemented at all levels, from policymakers to educators to ordinary citizens. Small acts of kindness, such as listening without judgment or offering resources, can have a huge impact on someone's life. Their debate also highlighted the importance of early intervention. Many mental health issues develop in childhood or early adulthood, yet they may go undetected for years. Bernard and Sericchio emphasized the need of mental health education in schools, where students can learn about their emotional well-being, coping methods, and how to seek help. Early detection and treatment can prevent disorders from deteriorating and improve long-term outcomes, yet many educational institutions still do not offer comprehensive mental health services. The performers also discussed the link between mental health and other societal challenges, such as homelessness, addiction, and incarceration. A considerable fraction of the homeless population suffers from untreated mental illness, and many people in the criminal justice system have underlying mental health issues that were never addressed. Bernard and Sericchio advocated for more compassionate answers to these concerns, such as improved mental health care for vulnerable groups and alternatives to incarceration for people with serious mental diseases. In reflecting on their own experiences, both actors expressed thanks for the support networks that have helped them overcome their mental health difficulties. Bernard acknowledged his family, friends, and medical professionals for giving stability during difficult times, but Sericchio emphasized the significance of finding a therapist who understands his cultural background. They both admitted that healing is not a straight line. There are good and bad days, but stressed that seeking help is a show of strength, not weakness. The conversation concluded on a positive tone, with Bernard and Sergio expressing confidence in the future of mental health awareness. They observed that younger generations are more open to addressing mental health than ever before, which is a hopeful start toward reducing stigma. However, they cautioned against complacency, advocating continuous efforts to strengthen mental health care and support networks around the world. In conclusion, Maurice Bernard and Ignacio Sergio's debate was a compelling examination of the contemporary mental health issue, its root causes, and potential solutions. By sharing their personal experiences and thoughts, they not only raised awareness, but also gave hope and inspiration to others suffering in silence. Their message was clear. Mental health is important, and society should take it seriously. Whether via governmental reforms, cultural shifts, or individual acts of compassion, everyone can help to create a world where mental health is prioritized. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Nina Reeves' cheating scheme may backfire. Will Willow Corinthos side with Drew Cain and blame her mother for the setup? When Nina first started putting this plan together with Portia Robinson, she was skeptical that Drew would cheat on Willow, at least at this point in their relationship. That's why Nina recommended framing Drew with Jacinda the hooker instead. Of course, there's an issue here because Nina didn't believe Drew's true treachery. Willow may find it suspicious until she gets over her shock and indignation at discovering Drew in bed with someone else. According to GH spoilers, Jacinda would play her role brilliantly and try to convince Willow that the attractive congressman wanted her. Drew, on the other hand, will tell a totally different story, and based on his hazy memories from the night before, he will not be surprised to learn that he was drugged. Drew's wheels may start spinning if he realizes a trap has been created. Drew may piece it all together and claim that someone wanted Willow to have this horrible homecoming surprise. Naturally, Drew may conclude that Nina is the most likely person to go to such lengths to end their relationship. Willow may also recall telling Nina when she was flying back, and possibly giving her mom the green light. Willow is so determined to believe Drew is her knight in shining armor that she may accept his version of events. When Drew swears not to throw away what they share, Willow can easily envision seizing his hand and declaring she believes him. Willow has demonstrated her willingness to kick Nina to the curb anytime her mother makes a mistake. Drew will most likely have little trouble convincing people that Nina has manufactured another one. This could be precisely what Drew needs to turn Willow against her mother, and Nina's plan could fail horribly. Whether Portia agrees to this, Nina absolutely could. Willow may confront Nina and demand to know whether she set Drew up. Nina may struggle to conceal her remorse, leaving Willow prepared to cut her mother out of her life completely. If that happens, would Nina realize she has nothing to lose by disclosing her previous relationships with Drew? Will Nina preserve those secrets for fear of jeopardizing any chance of reconciliation? Regardless, General Hospital spoilers indicate that Nina's predictions regarding drowning Drew may not come true, so stay tuned for updates on the devastating news. General Hospital spoilers. Nina's cheating trap backfires. Willow supports Drew and blames Mom? The drama in Port Charles never stops, and Nina Reeves herself once again in the midst of a rising storm. Nina, known for her cunning methods and ability to manipulate events to her advantage, has prepared what she perceives to be the ideal trap, this time for Drew Cain. However, history has proven that Nina's intentions frequently spin out of control, resulting in unexpected casualties. This time her plan may fail miserably, pushing her own daughter, Willow Corinthos, further away. The consequences of Nina's actions may cause Willow to side with Drew, and eventually blame her mother for yet another problem. Nina's next strategy looks to involve framing Drew for infidelity. Whether she fabricates evidence, twists harmless exchanges, or simply lies, her purpose appears to be to harm Drew's credibility and relationships, maybe in vengeance for his role in exposing her previous wrongdoings. Nina has never taken loss lightly, and her vendettas may be ruthless. However, her plan is dependent on people trusting her account of events, which may not go as easily as she wishes. Drew has established a solid reputation in Port Charles, and many folks, including Willow, have grown to trust him. If Nina's charges are too far-fetched or lack actual evidence, she may face suspicion rather than support. Willow Corinthos has had a rocky relationship with her mother since the beginning. Willow felt betrayed, angry, and reluctantly affectionate after realizing Nina was her biological mother. While she has attempted to offer Nina opportunities to prove herself, Nina's manipulative traits have frequently harmed their relationship. If Willow discovers Nina is behind yet another dishonest plot, especially one aimed at Drew, someone she respects, it could be the final straw. Willow has gotten stronger and more aggressive with time, and she may no longer be willing to accept her mother's actions. Willow may remain by Drew rather than turn against him, understanding that Nina is the true originator of the upheaval. Drew Kane, meanwhile, has been trying hard to restore his life following his encounter with Victor Cassadine. He has reconciled with his loved ones, including his children and Carly Corinthos, and has attempted to move forward with integrity. Drew is unlikely to take Nina's phony accusations of cheating lying down. He may respond by revealing Nina's ruse, rallying allies behind him, and ensuring the truth is revealed. Drew will not allow Nina's tactics to undo the accomplishments he has accomplished, given his track record of resilience. If anything, her attack may deepen his ties, especially if others see through her deception. Nina's unsuccessful trap may have far-reaching consequences beyond Willow and Drew alone. Willow's husband, Michael Corinthos, has never been a fan of Nina's, and if he believes she is causing further harm to his family, he may take harsh measures. Michael has often demonstrated that he will go to great lengths to protect Willow and their children, and if Nina's deception causes any of them mental suffering, he may respond legally or financially. The Corinthos family wields immense power in Port Charles, and Nina may face far more severe consequences than she expected. Another thing to consider is Carly Spencer's reaction. Carly and Nina's hatred is legendary, and if Carly learns about Nina's current plan, she will not remain silent. Carly has a knack for turning Nina's own plots against her, and she may use this occasion to further expose Nina's true nature. Carly and Drew's connection is still solid, and she might become one of his toughest supporters, making Nina's lies even more difficult to spread. In Port Charles, there is also a court of public opinion. While Nina has some admirers, including her husband, Sonny Corinthos, many others regard her with distrust. If it becomes out that she made up claims against Drew, Sonny may find it difficult to defend her. Sonny has been attempting to reconcile his allegiance to Nina with his own moral code, and if he believes she has crossed a line, their marriage may suffer further difficulty. Sonny has forgiven Nina for a lot, but if her actions harm innocent people, particularly Willow, he may reach his breaking point. Willow may suffer serious emotional consequences as a result of this predicament. She had longed for a secure, loving relationship with her mother, but Nina's actions reinforce the notion that she cannot be trusted. If Willow is forced to choose between standing by Drew, who has been a helpful figure in her life, and defending Nina, she may finally decide enough. Willow's sorrow at understanding her mother would rather manipulate than change could cause her to separate herself from Nina completely, blaming her for yet another useless quarrel. Finally, Nina's cheating trap may not only fail but possibly backfire in unexpected ways. Instead of causing a gap between Drew and Willow, she may bring them closer together, united in their displeasure with her deception. The more Nina attempts to dominate the narrative, the more isolated she may become, with even her closest allies questioning her motivations. Port Charles has seen its fair share of scams implode, but this one may have long-term consequences for Nina's relationships, particularly with the daughter she claims to adore. Willow's journey has been one of endurance and self-discovery, and this newest battle may be the moment she truly emerges from Nina's shadow. Willow was finally able to break free from the pattern of manipulation by side with Drew, and holding her mother accountable. Drew's survival of Nina's attack could strengthen his reputation in Port Charles as a man of integrity, demonstrating once again that honesty triumphs over dishonesty. Nina, on the other hand, may be forced to bear the repercussions of her actions again. Her unwillingness to learn from her mistakes puts her in self-destructive turmoil, and until she changes her ways, she fears losing everything she has worked so hard to keep. The question is whether this will serve as a wake-up call for her, or if she will persist, ensuring her own demise. Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: Port Charles will not run out of drama very soon. As the plot progresses, viewers may anticipate intense confrontations, emotional breakdowns, and shifting alliances. Nina's infidelity trap may have appeared to be a solid strategy in her head, but in reality, It could be the beginning of her downfall. With Willow potentially turning against her and Drew emerging unhurt, Nina may finally learn that some conflicts aren't worth fighting, especially if it means losing the one she claims to care about the most. Port Charles people are no strangers to treachery and vengeance, but this time, the consequences could change relationships in unanticipated ways. Whether Nina faces actual accountability or finds another means to avoid responsibility remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: her actions will have long-term effects. Willow, Drew, and everyone else caught up in the crossfire will face difficult decisions and emotional reckonings in the coming days. And Nina's ideas may eventually be too expensive to justify. In a village where secrets never remain buried for long, the truth eventually emerges. Nina may assume she is untouchable, but Port Charles has a history of humiliating individuals who overestimate their abilities. As the dust settles, the true victims will be the relationships torn apart by her manipulations, and the final tragedy may be Nina's failure to recognize the damage she has created until it is too late. Fans will have to wait and watch how this dramatic narrative